David Sweet from Trout Unlimited up in Cody. Can you give us a synopsis of what the big problem facing the Yellowstone cutthroat is?
Yeah, sure can. Well, the numbers of Yellowstone cutthroat trout in Yellowstone Lake have declined dramatically over the last 15 years. They've declined from a high of about 3.5 to 4 million individuals in that system. Now they're down to no more than probably 5% of that number. So you can do the math. That's somewhere around 200,000 remaining. And it's, of course, due to predation by lake trout. Lake trout are extremely aggressive, and they're just simply eating those cutthroat. And so we have to remove as many of those lake trout as we can from the system and cut off recruitment into the population.
And part of the way that you're doing that now is through a research project that's being funded, so you know where the lake trout are, so you can then use various techniques to get them.
That's right. Yeah, it's called a telemetry study. It involves implanting into the lake trout what's called a hydroacoustic tag. It's a telemetry tag that gives off a signal, and then there are receivers in the lake, mounted in the lake, where they can pick up those signals and determine how that lake trout is moving throughout the system, and more importantly, where it's spawning. Because in order to cut off recruitment or replenishment of the population of lake trout, you've got to be able to cut off their spawning activity. You've got to kill the eggs, stop them from laying eggs, or kill the eggs on the spawning beds.
Is it working?
You know, right now we're in the middle of the telemetry study. The part about killing their eggs, that's going to follow telemetry. We've got to identify those spawning beds. It is absolutely working. The data is being downloaded from the 141 lake trout we have implanted with telemetry tags right now, and that data is currently being analyzed. But we do have some early indications that give us some idea of how those lake trout are moving within the system. So yes, it very definitely is working.